You wanted the best, but you're shit out of luck. Welcome to the KissFAQ podcast. We're here to waste some of your time and hopefully entertain you for a little bit. So thank you for letting us into your head. Hope we don't do any damage. Welcome to episode 4 of the KissFAQ podcast. Joining me today is Nigel, Lonnie,
Hello?
and Alex. Thank you guys for spending your time representing the board with a discussion for those who are bored. Today we're going to talk about, well, actually, before we get to that, I'd like to thank everyone for listening to the last episode. Appreciate the feedback we received on that. That was a fun episode to record. Hopefully today will be exciting too. The topic today is going to be KISS Kruises, the past, the future, and what people think of them. KISS has, of course, just announced or recently announced KISS Cruise 5, which will sail to Jamaica this autumn, and in conjunction with that, they say they're going to be performing the whole Alive album, wearing 1975 costumes, and doing a unmasked sail away show. So, guys, what are your thoughts on that? Let's start with Nigel. You've been on a cruise before, so what do you think about their unmasked?
I'm excited. It's something different. Of course, all the other years they did the acoustically. I would love to see that. I'm not going this next year because of school and everything, but sounds fantastic. And any year that they change it up and they switch around what they're doing, I'm all for. As far as the Alive costumes go, and Alive in its entirety is cool. I would say if they're going to do that, they need to go all out, have the candelabra there. Try to remake the stage as best as they can to be authentic. And are they going to make new Alive costumes? Or are they going to pull out the Rock the Nation ones from storage? That's what I almost feel like is going to happen there. But I can't wait to see the YouTube videos of it.
Lonnie.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Rock the Nation costumes that we saw in 03 and 04, personally. And I hope that by doing Alive, that they're going to play all of Alive, not like Alive 35 and leave out Rock Bottom and Firehouse. If you're going to play Alive, let's play KISS Alive. And like you said, too, recreate the stage as best you can. Recreate that vibe from 1975. But when I heard they were going to... I went on one of the cruises. I went on KISS Cruise 2. And my wife and I were toying with the idea of maybe going again this year. But KISS Alive in its entirety does not excite me. I mean, I saw KISS Alive 35 where they played all of Alive except Rock Bottom and Firehouse. I saw that show multiple times, and it doesn't excite me to go do it, to go spend that money to go see it. The fact that they're going to play the Sail Away show electric, that's cool. And I think it might be a little bit of... They heard a lot of the backlash, people them upset that they're going to play KISS Live in its entirety. Okay, well, what are we going to do to excite people to make this cruise a little different? Well, we could do this. And I think that is exciting because when's the last time they played electric without makeup? I guess it was 95. Because everything they've done unmasked has really been acoustic since they put the makeup back on.
Yeah,
What are they going to play, though, without the makeup? Are they going to play this?
If you're going to do it, you got to do 80s.
Yeah. I mean, are they going to play Coming Home and Plaster Caster and all the stuff they play acoustically, just electric? Or are they going to throw in some things we're not used to hearing?
I'll Fight Hell to Hold You, something like that. That'd be amazing.
They're going to do... It's going to be revenge. It's going to be revenge.
They better do Fits Like a Glove. There's no excuse. Fits Like a Glove needs to be performed. I mean, it was performed throughout pretty much the entire 80s era of the band. So, and we don't have to worry about Paul singing it, so there should be no excuses on that aspect.
Or on the cruise last year, Gene said he'd really love to play Hate off of Carnival of Souls.
See, that would be awesome. Play something like that.
Yeah.
Play Hate.
And I mean, have fun. I mean, by golly, invite Bruce Kulick out for this song and have Bruce come play Hate with them. That'd be badass.
Yeah, definitely.
I have a feeling that that's not going to happen. Doc had a Q&A on KISS Cruise 2, and the fans were basically begging him, said, just bring Bruce on. Let Bruce play. And he said, that's interesting. We'll have to talk about that. But I don't feel like they're going to do that to Tommy. because the second Bruce comes up on stage, everyone's going to be chanting for Bruce to come back, and then there's going to be all the stuff like there was with, Unplugged, and the fans won't let up. So I don't think they'd even hinted that, just in fear of fan retaliation.
Wait, do you mean KISS fans might not be able to just enjoy the moment?
Hell no!
It's not going to happen.
All right,
we want more. We're KISS fans.
Because, the second Tommy comes back up on stage, someone's going to boo him.
And he can't say his name is like Bruce. He can't do that excuse.
Oh no, not that again. So Alex, what do you think about the proposed, I guess, bringing back KISS Alive again? Alive again. That'd be a good album.
My first tour I got to see KISS was the Alive 35 going into the Sonic Boom tour, so I kind of got gypped because they didn't do nothing. I was mad they didn't do nothing to lose. They did like the week before I saw them, and I was mad they pulled out of the set list. But I've heard the songs. There's like a great compilation, like all the songs performed live in the Live 35 tour on YouTube. It's like 2.5 hours long. It's like a great playlist. It's all live. The Alive album, it's a classic album. It's great. In fact, I just my dad's birthday's coming up in 2 weeks, so I ordered him the vinyl reissue, the 2014 vinyl reissue. Because I called him and said, Dad, if there's any KISS album you want again, what would it be? He goes, The Alive. And it's a great album. But because he did it 5 years ago, that's what it's a bummer. And I mean, if they're going to try to recreate the image of the Alive with the costumes, and Gene's got to get on a diet right now to drop like 30, 40 pounds.
Wow.
And he needs to get a new wig. I need to get a new wig too, because that wig he's got doesn't look like it. But I don't know. I wish they would have done something else. I mean, let's celebrate, Alive 2. That would have been awesome to do something like that. I mean, look, I like 100,000 Years, even though some people think it's a great bathroom break song. And so, it's fun when you throw that one back in the show and stuff, but I think they could have done something better. I think the Sail Away show with the non-makeup is a great idea. I don't know why they weren't doing it before with the previous KISS Cruises, because it's, with the KISS Cruise being a fall test for the Die-Hard and stuff, they should be able to throw stuff out there, mix it up. Heck, if they don't want to learn a whole song, learn a medley of songs. I love that 2001 medley they did in Australia where they did like Mr. Speed and stuff. Go out there and say, hey, Paul doing his little, hey, y'all, we going to do a medley for you people today. and do five different songs and have fun with it. I mean, that's what I get the one thing I love when I watch the KISS Cruise videos on YouTube is everybody's having fun. And have fun. There's a great band I got to see called Y&T. I don't know if you guys have heard of them. I remember being on one of the shows and I yelled out. It was right at the time when the original bass player, Phil Kinnemore, he was sick. He hadn't passed away yet, so they had to fill him guy. And I remember yelling, like, play Contagious. And Dave was like, well, Brad doesn't know this song. And then he goes, okay, we'll do it quick. And he did a quick verse and a chorus of the song. Have fun with it. So I hope the Electric Show, I hope I got nothing against them doing Coming Home with Plastic Caster in it, but throw some 80s stuff on there. Have a little fun with it, Just for kicks and giggles, do Reason to Live, have fun with it.
Yeah, and if they're doing an electric unmasked Sail Away show, they've got a whole. I think they're going to go Revenge and Hot in the Shade era. Because that ties into both Tommy and Eric. Eric obviously was on Revenge, and Tommy's obviously on both of those albums as well. So I think we'll probably see a fair amount from that. Hopefully more Gene songs, because him in that era, what was it, a few months ago, he did that All-Star thing, and he brought back his Revenge look. And while it's not that great, it's like seeing Granddad dress up a little bit. He still pulls off that look. I mean, he's a hard-working guy, and I think it should be exciting. As for the Alive, I don't know how much that does for me. I'm not going to go on the cruise. It's soccer season, so I'll be busy. But Alive, again, I kind of have mixed opinions on that. The Alive set itself from the Alive tour is fantastic. 14 songs, very concise. It's every single song is a classic in there, so it's hard to fault it from that they've done it before. I agree with Bring Back the Candelabra. I think they should also recreate the Alive stage as it appears on the cover of the album, with the once manually operated chain link drum riser with that cute little yellow velvet thing that went around the side of it. Get a couple of roadies in the back hand cranking it like Moose and the boys would have done back in '75. And just keep it completely choreographed like that first show was. And then you're really reliving it. I understand them doing it, 40th anniversary of that. That's another milestone. But if they're going to do it, they got to throw in Let Me Know. They got to have the Rock Bottoms, Two Timers, Ladies in Waiting. People are shelling out 4 figures plus to go on that. And there's a lot of people on these, as I know from Vegas and the Dutch Kiss Army arriving after that cruise, that come a long way for this. So if they can make it a little bit more special than Alive and put in some of those songs that they did irregularly during the Dress to Kill and Alive tours, Ladies in Waiting, Strange Ways. Those are 2 in particular. Let Me Know, I think they've already done. Well, they could certainly throw people a bone and make it a really cool experience. So, it is what it is. They have to do what they're comfortable doing. But,
The one thing about that, though, is when you go on the cruises, you don't know what you're going to hear. And this is the first year that you know exactly what you're going to hear before you even walk into the theater.
But do you? You don't know if you're getting the Alive album or if you're getting the Alive era. They're just saying Alive. So that's March '75 through basically March '76.
Well, even last year's Electric set for KISS Cruise 4, they only played 16 songs. So are they really going to play more than Alive? Are they going to play Alive and then say, okay, we played Kiss Alive, that's it for the Electric show? They only played 16 songs last year on the Electric side.
And I gotta be honest, that surprised me. I would figure, because you hear Gene go, I'm the only guy who wears more makeup than I am, and your mom in 40 pounds of gear, and you're figuring, okay, I can see why you do 60 songs with that much stuff, but with them having those fancy suits on, I was expecting to see like 20, 22 songs. They weren't,
And there's no curfew. And there's no curfew like there is when they come to town. So, I mean, come on. Yeah. Those people are playing 4 figures. Keep playing. Play 5 more songs. Come on.
Yeah, and throw in the song. I understand Paul's voice has been a bit of an issue, and they need to strategically work him, though he sounded a lot better in Vegas, so who knows what's going on with him sonically. If they... The past 4 cruises, you start off with 20, 22 songs in the first cruise. I'm just looking at my little spreadsheet here. Then you go up to 21 and 23 in KISS Cruise 2, though you guys may have something to say about 5 of those being new songs. And then they started dropping down, as did the set lists on the tour. And since then, they're like 16, 17 songs. So if they're going to do a live and drop it down to the 14, and I don't see them being able to get away with that. So,
that's something I noticed from the beginning of the cruises. The first one, they seemed incredibly excited about it themselves. The second one was still pretty good. It was the third one when I started hearing fan complaints. And it's almost that thing where once Kiss gets comfortable with something, they start to slack a little bit. And even the cruise, the one that they did last year, they had to change the set list the second night because so many fans complained that there wasn't enough rarities. And
they played almost a standard set list that first night.
They must have found Doc's room and beat it down till they complained to him. But I think that's funny. It's something that KISS fans don't care. KISS fans will tell the band directly if they don't like what they're doing or the songs that they're doing.
Can you imagine a KISS fan getting mad at a concert on a boat and stomping down to Doc's, room, banging on the door? Doc, I'm not happy here, But it's not like they're going to get to the second show. And the criticism of KISS Cruise 4, I really did not get. Creatures of the Night, first song of both sets, that hasn't been in the set for a while, and obviously that's the one video I put up on YouTube from my Vegas show.
That's a big Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
Which I was so happy, and I've never been a big fan of the song. I was blown away by that. Plastercaster was in the set. Tears Are Falling. And The Oath. That is 4 pretty good carrots to my way of thinking.
I'll be honest, if I went to a KISS concert and they just stepped that side and, you wanted the best, you got the best KISS, they did The Oath and walked off, I'll be all right with it. I go, fine. That was a good show. Thank you, guys. I'd be happy.
Now, to be honest, I do have a problem with Shout It Out Loud. That's one song I could happily never have to hear again.
Lick It Up.
I Love It Loud.
Mm-hmm.
I understand what you're saying, that Kiss Cruise 4, that, yeah, they played Creatures, they played Plaster Caster, they played Tears Are Falling. But in the middle of that set list is Let Me Go Rock and Roll, Lick It Up, Calling Dr. Love, Hell or Hallelujah, I Love It Loud, Detroit Rock City, Love Gun. Those 7 songs in a row. I mean, am I on the Kiss Cruise or am I at the amphitheater in town with those 7 songs in a row? And I paid a couple grand to be here, and this is what you're playing?
At the same time, though, I think they do a mix-up where they still think about, if this is the first fans' time seeing the band, they're going to want to hear, like, the 4 or 5 core staple songs. And, because if they don't play those songs, someone else is going to complain. So it's really a lose-lose situation for them, I think, sometimes.
It's no win. I'm looking at that set list and saying, well, I would have liked to have heard Deuce. That's my I Gotta Have It song.
Please everyone.
Or Nothing to Lose. That's the one I always freak out when they play live.
Since you brought those 2 songs up, Kiss Cruise 2, the first night that I went on, they were supposed to close with Nothing to Lose. And there's a video of it on YouTube that my friend right next to me actually took. And they close, and Gene waves goodbye to the crowd, and they end the song. And then Paul starts playing the intro to Deuce, looks over at Gene and smiles. And Gene has like this, WTF look on his face.
He was pissed.
He doesn't even play the first part of the song because clearly he wanted to leave. Clearly he was tired. But once he ripped into it, it was pretty good. And he had the fans sing half the song. So it was a really fun way to end a show, and definitely unique. Because Paul loved screwing with him at the end there. You could tell.
You could tell he was pissed.
So clearly I should have gone to the first night of Kiss Cruise 2.
Yeah, you would have heard Nothing to Lose. You would have been happy.
And Hello, Hallelujah, Wall of Sound.
You would have heard All for the Love of Rock and Roll.
Oh.
See, now I went on Kiss Cruise 2. And after seeing the set list on Kiss Cruise 1, and seeing that they did Love Her All I Can, they did Rock Bottom, they did almost all of Dress to Kill, I told my girlfriend at the time, all right, we are going on Kiss Cruise 2. I'm taking you. I know you don't really like the band, but you'll get to go on a beach. You'll get to go on vacation. So we went. And we ended up actually getting engaged on Kiss Cruise 2. That's what every girl dreams of, is getting engaged on the Kiss Cruise.
You need to teach me your ways with the ladies.
I was glad she didn't throw me off the boat when I proposed to her in front of, a bunch of Kiss fans. But when they, going back to that electric show on Kiss Cruise 2, they played 5 songs off of Monster. And while I know that I'll never go to a Kiss concert, I'll never hear them play Wall of Sound or Long Way Down or All for the Love of Rock and Roll, or maybe not even Out of This World again. And it was cool because Monster had just came out maybe 2 weeks before that cruise happened. But that's not why I was there, to hear 5 brand new songs. I wanted vintage stuff off of Hotter Than Hell, Dress to Kill, off of Rock and Roll Over. Play Love 'Em, Leave 'Em instead of Wall of Sound. That's what I'm here for. And I think, that's what a lot of Kiss fans are there for. It's not... And I appreciate the fact that that they still make new music. I really do. That they really just haven't become totally complacent, that they do make new music. But I went based on that set list from the first one, and I think that's why a lot of people went to the second one, based on, wow, this is what they're going to do. This is my chance to hear obscure songs. I'm going, and they play half of the new albums.
And none of the other songs on either of those nights were what you'd call deep cuts. Second night, the deepest I'm seeing is War Machine and I Stole Your Love.
And the only reason they played I Stole Your Love the second night, because the crowd started chanting, I stole your love, I stole your love. So they had to play. If that crowd wouldn't have chanted that, they wouldn't have played it that night.
Which show did you attend in person on that cruise?
The second one. And they started off with Take Me.
I was night 1, and they started off with Psycho Circus, which at that time had not been played since about 2004. So that was a deep cut at that time.
The second night, they started off with Take Me instead of Psycho Circus, and I was like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And then they went into Psycho Circus, and then the 5 Monster songs. But like you said, the deepest thing they played that night was really probably Take Me or I Stole Your Love.
My thing was go ahead, Alex. Sorry.
Oh, I just think I'm looking at the set list here. I've got it on my iPad here. It's cool they did some of the new Monster songs, but yeah, seeing I Stole Your Love's on there. But like, I just wish they would just loosen up and have fun. Like I've been thinking, what a fun thing to do She, but instead of doing that little dun da 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 and that little guitar part, to just break into the second half of Acrobat. To the Much Too Young part. I think that'd be like a way cool thing for like the KISS Cruise to see. Have fun with that. And it mixes it up, but then you can still get away from playing a song like She. But yeah, I mean, look at the set list, I mean, I would have been mad if I was on KISS Cruise the first night going like, oh, I got nothing to lose from what I saw. And I got 5 new Monster songs, even though Monster's not a bad album. Like you said, I agree with you, Lonnie, you want the deeper cuts. And especially after hearing that interview with Eric Singer on the Cassius Morris show, where he talked about he loves playing the older stuff from the first 3 albums. It's like, we're sweet. We got a guy who wants to, probably would love to do Strange Ways of Mainland and Getaway. Let's see those songs play more often.
Well, here's the thing, though. They can't win because if Eric sings Strange Ways or Dirty Livin' or his stuff, he's going to get accused of being Peter copy. Then he does his own song that was written for him, and then people don't want to hear that either. So I feel like it's no win for Eric and Tommy especially.
I'm just waiting for Eric to do You Matter to Me and Tommy to do New York Groove. That's what I can't wait to see.
Julian's message board will explode at that point.
I have to say
I would love Eric to sing any of those songs. He's got the voice. He's so similar. I mean, he's not Peter, but he's similar, and I think he does it with respect. The only song I don't like him doing is Beth. But let him do any of the other songs, except for the 2 that Peter kind of wrote, and that's Dirty Living and Baby Driver. Everything else, the songs that Ace wrote that Peter did, let him have them. He'll do them respect, and he loves that era of the band. So if it makes people's heads explode, tough. At least he's not doing Dirty Living.
Right.
I have to say, though, that that show on KISS Cruise 2 was a perfect example of me. Here's KISS, the band, in 2012, playing their new material. KISS is an example of a modern version of KISS. This is the new KISS that Paul was talking about, when they let Peter go in 2004. And I just thought, we got to hear those songs for the first time, and, YouTube videos don't give them justice, but when you were there and they ripped into Wall of Sound and All for the Love of Rock and Roll and Out of This World, it was cool to me because it's like, here are the new songs from the new KISS album being played on the new tour. And it was almost a throwback to, Revenge or the 80s shows where they did 5-6 songs from that current album.
Yep.
Once they got into the reunion tour, it was just the same stuff over and over and over again. And hearing a new song from KISS the year it came out for the first time was just really, really cool.
And you got 12 to 1,500 captive people on a boat who probably bought the album, might even know the songs that you're playing, even though they're new.
They knew them.
To me, every time they ripped into a new song, I was like, that's one less chance of hearing something obscure from 75, though.
Yeah, how was the general reception to those songs at those shows? Was there a noticeable? You can feel the vibe in a crowd. Was there an ebb when they went into them, or was there pensive excitement of something new?
I felt the excitement. I definitely did. And people knew the words already. They were singing along already. I don't know how recent Monster was. I think Monster was maybe only a month old at that time.
Maybe a couple weeks even at the time, I think.
But it was fantastic. And All for the Love of Rock and Roll is one of my favorite KISS songs now. So being able to hear... And they dropped it pretty fast. And they dropped Wall of Sound. Wall of Sound is the new, to me, was the new War Machine. Yeah. When you heard that live, it was fantastic. And Gene got into it, and the lyrics are great, and the riff is great. It's got a Helter Skelter Beatles thing going on. And if they put that in the show and played it on every tour, I would love it.
Well, alternate Hell or Hallelujah and play one of those other songs. I don't need to hear Hell or Hallelujah.
I'm over that too.
Mm-hmm. Even in Vegas, they played Hell or Hallelujah both nights I saw them in Vegas. And I was like, all right, I get it. But you want to say it goes, it's a new classic. Well, you guys they boast about how great Monster is all the time. Well, play something else off of there then. The only song they've played in the U.S., off of Monster is Hell or Hallelujah. Play something else up there. What was cool is when they played All for the Love of Rock and Roll on the cruise, they had that video montage in the back I don't know if you remember that or not, but it was really cool. It looked like they had really like planned that we're going to keep this in the set list for a while, and for whatever reason, I think they played it. They went to South America right after that cruise, and I think they played it once, maybe twice in South America, and then never played it again.
Yeah, songs started dropping like flies once they got to South America that year, at least songs off the new album. But then again, you get into the arguments of the audience that they're performing for. You know, that the greatest hits argument versus the diehards. So,
since you mentioned Tommy, though, on the cruise last year on the acoustic set, people, I can't remember what was going on, people started chanting out for Tommy to sing a song. And he started playing the opening riff to When Lightning Strikes. And I was like, oh, all right, here we go. I like that song, too. This is going to be cool. And he started playing a little bit of it, and then they just launched right into Shock Me. And it was like that taste of something really cool was coming. And then I got my camera out and everything. I was ready to go. And then they went right into Shock Me. And I'm like, come on, you write these songs for these guys. They finally have their own tunes. They're on the cruise where everyone's going to enjoy those songs. And then you won't even play them. It's like Only You. They teased Only You, and Gene sang the first 12, 15 seconds of it, and then let the fans sing the rest. And that drives me crazy. It's like, if you're going to, announce that you're going to play these rare tracks on the cruise, don't play 15 seconds, give up, and then let the fans sing the rest of them. I don't think that counts.
Then play them. If you're an announcer, you're going to play them, then play them. Not like the conventions where they didn't know a lot of the songs people were requesting, and you listen to some audio from the conventions, people are basically just singing the words for them. Like even Christine 16, he didn't even know the words for that.
It's almost like it's a joke. It's almost like they're playing it as a joke to themselves. That they don't even take this song serious enough to learn it. That's how it looks to me. I will say, though, not a tribute band. There was a bunch of other bands on the boat last year that did a bunch of KISS cover songs. And one of them ripped into I from The Elder, and that song sounded great. If KISS pulled that out and did I, that would blow everybody away. And even Paul suggested it the first year that they did The Oath. Paul said maybe we'll try I the next year. Well, it didn't happen. They played The Oath again. But that's definitely, if I had to pick a song that I'd love to hear them do on the cruise, I think I would be my number one.
And I know they're not big fans of The Elder, and I give them respect for that. But I mean, holy smokes! I mean, you see the videos of after they did The Oath the first night, and you hear the audience roaring. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, that right there is like, you guys, you think this is a good song? I don't know. Do you not see them all cheering? Come on, that's a perfect song to do on a cruise.
Well, and that's what they need to do on that electric set, the Unmasked electric set this year. They need to pull something out, play I Just Wanna. I mean, that crowd would go crazy if Paul started off said, I got a body built for sin and an appetite for passion. That crowd would go berserk if he just yelled that out and they just slammed into that song.
I'd say have fun, get some, and I'd be very selective when you do it too. Get some of them beautiful women in those bikinis up on stage, and do take it off again.
Yeah, I like the idea of I. That has got to be, and I think I've said this before, one of the most underrated KISS anthems with such a positive message. I mean, we talk about KISS being a party band, have a good time, live your life, don't be held back. But I is just, it's such the perfect song. And I recommend anyone.
Vocals too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
But anyone who hasn't seen it should get on YouTube and go see the videos of The Oath. Because number one, Paul nailed that song at a time when I think no one expected him to be able to pull it off. He absolutely, that is just a shining moment of recent history when he did that song. So, fantastic. But put I in. Agreed.
I still remember seeing the post on the FAQ when they were saying that The Oath was played, and it was like, don't tease me with this one. Please don't lie to me. I'll get my hopes up. And then when I saw the videos, I remember downloading one of the videos 30 seconds after seeing it and putting it on my phone and just listening to it 20 times over.
Yeah, so KISS Cruise 3, I mean, that live show dropped down to 16 songs, but you get The Oath. Let Me Know. Almost Human. Ladies in Waiting and Anything for My Baby.
That's what I wanted on too, but I didn't get it.
refund, demand a refund. You know what? I mean, that is just
go to Doc's room and bang on his door.
Yeah,
it's KISS. There are no refunds.
Like I was gonna say earlier, you mentioned like the 4 or 5 songs. But I mean, you could take this thing right here, 16 songs. Okay, we'll take the 4 or 5 songs. Detroit Rock City, Rock and Roll Night. I'll give them Deuce and Shout It Out Loud, and we'll leave those 4 there. But that still leaves an option for 12 songs that could be completely out of left field for them to do. And, you know, somebody goes, I want to cruise, I did Rock and Roll Night. Oh, well, that sucks for you. Go see them at a regular show. KISS Kruises is awesome, though.
Yeah, and I missed 2 songs on that I really should highlight. Mainline.
Oh,
yeah. I mean that's 6, and Say Yeah, which I'm sorry if Paul wants to talk about modern classics. I think Say Yeah is probably the only song off either of those 2 more recent albums that comes anywhere near being a new classic for me.
What about Yes I Know? How has that been forgotten? That's a great song.
That is fantastic. That and Say Yeah are the 2 best songs they've done since they started recording again.
You didn't like Modern Day Delilah?
It's fine. It's good. But those Say Yeah and Yes I Know are the best 2 songs.
They have a classic vibe.
Sonic Boom and Monster.
Oh, and don't forget the Poison song or whatever that was.
Never enough.
Which is intrinsically like a rip-off of Deuce almost. So it's almost like they're ripping off a rip-off of themselves.
Yeah, it rock and roll. It's all a big circle.
What about I Pledge Allegiance to the State of Rock and Roll? They pulled that out in 2004.
In Australia,
never played it again. I'd love to hear that. I'd love to hear We Are One acoustically. I'd love to hear Journey of a Thousand Years. I mean, do you think they forget about these songs and it takes Tommy and Eric to remind them? Or when they're mentioned, they're just like, no, we don't care about that?
Well, sometimes I kind of wonder, kind of like with the Elder, if it's a bad vibe. I mean, you know, I was dating a girl not too long ago, and we ended things and stuff. But I remember, like, I was working at my job and heard a song that she liked, and it was like, oh my goodness, turn that off. I don't want to hear that song. And I wonder though if it's the same kind of a vibe. Like, you know, maybe some of the songs, you know, things might not have been, like, especially like the Elder, at least things might not have been so hot with the band, maybe between members and stuff. And so they don't want to play that song, which I give them credit for, you know, on that aspect. But no, I agree. You wonder, like, how do you forget this? Or, you know, you hear, like, Paul say, like, this song came, well, like, I think it was one of the KISS Kruises when they were introducing Mainline. And he's like, this comes off, like, the first album. No, it doesn't. It comes off Out of the Hell. No, it doesn't. Just the Kill. Like, how do you guys not remember at least what album the song came off of? First, we're all a bunch of nerds, so we know, like, which, you know, song came off, you know, which album came off, and what the stats were for the album.
Yeah, they don't need to remember which album it came off. They were there recording and writing it. So, getting back to the bad vibes, well, I don't know how they could ever perform any Vinnie Vincent stuff if they've got bad associations, and they've got no problem with War Machine or Lick It Up. And I know last year I bashed Lick It Up as the one song I want to see gone from the list, from the set, and then I go to Vegas and I thoroughly enjoy it. So, you know, I don't know.
It all depends on your mood. I think you'll like any song if you're in the mood for it, but if you're not, you're gonna hate it.
I was so darn excited to be in Vegas at a KISS show. No.
I don't know. I don't need to hear Lick It Up and I Love It Loud. I don't need to hear either one of those. I don't care if I'm in a great mood or a piss-ass mood. I don't need to hear either one of them.
I don't feel like any live version of those 2 songs ever lived up to the studio tracks. I think the studio tracks for those 2 songs and stuff like Unholy and Heaven's on Fire are just the best versions of those songs. I don't think they've ever been replicated live.
No. I would take Lick It Up if they just dropped the whole metal break section. Just keep it to like 3 minutes or whatever few seconds it is. I'm tired of the whole like, I want you. I don't want that. No, just do the song and we can put another song in there instead of wasting time.
You know, maybe everyone needs to wear a T-shirt saying this is a shriek-free zone, Paul. Just please sing the songs now or save your voice for the next song. We don't need these extended warbling sessions.
Well, and when we do Lick It Up, do I need to hear the I Won't Get Fooled Again portion in the middle of it every time? Even on the cruise, we do a tribute to The Who in the middle of Lick It Up. I mean, play your own stuff.
Well, that is, I've always seen that as KISS's attempt to show themselves as a jam band, which we all know they're not, but it's such a highly choreographed
jam
and calculated jam. they don't really have any sections in song that they can do that, and it doesn't serve any purpose, which annoys me. So I think I dislike that more than I dislike the extended parts of I Love It Loud. No, not 100,000 Years. So
I always thought that Let Me Go Rock and Roll was kind of their jam song.
yeah, that's like the brakes are off, and here we go. See you at the end of the song. And that's probably why that one is one of my favorite songs.
That one works.
Yeah. So we get into KISS. Which cruise are we on now? I think. Let me ask you guys who went to it. How has the venue been for those? I mean, it's 12 to 1,500 people, right?
Mm-hmm.
And only half the people on the boat get to go to each show. And don't they sometimes oversell and ask people to sell their tickets back? And how's the vibe of these?
That's what happened last year. I don't recall hearing anything about that on 2 and 3. But last year I did hear that they had oversold, and there were a lot of people that were pissed and trying to figure out ways to get into it. There's a fire code and everything, and I think these cruises took off a lot faster than they expected them to. So now it's just, buy as many tickets as you want, and we'll figure out how to get you into the shows later.
The secret steerage class on the KISS cruise. Here you are working in the kitchens, but we'll get you to a KISS show.
Speaking of like the crowd on the KISS cruise, I noticed on the one that I went on, they did the acoustic. We went to the Sail Away show, and one of the last songs they did on the Sail Away was Mr. Speed, which was really cool because I never thought I'd hear him ever play that. And they go into the second verse, and I'm singing along, and where it goes, you try pleasing, but getting on your knees don't make it. I'm singing, and the band didn't know the lyrics, so the crowd's like singing it. Of course, the band didn't know the lyrics. And like the lady next to me looks at me and she goes, "That's the lyric of that second verse?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And she goes, "Well, I didn't know that." I'm like, "Well, why are you here?" So I think some of the people, and that was just one example, but I think some of the people on there are it's not just the diehards of the diehards on there. I think some of the people on there are people with disposable income that, well, KISS is doing a cruise. We want to go on a cruise this year. That might be fun. We'll just do that. I think I'm not saying the majority of the people on there are like that, but I think there's a percentage of people on there that, well, I like KISS and I liked them when they came to town. Let's go do this with our vacation time and with our money. I think there's a small percentage of people on there.
For the diehards, it's like a KISS convention on a boat with a vacation as an added bonus. For some people, it's a vacation with KISS as an added bonus.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
And looking at that KISS Cruise 2 Sail Away show, oh my goodness. What a Unplugged 2 album that set would have made. I mean,
that was the best part of that cruise.
That is the most incredible set from any of the 4 cruises. I mean, A World Without Heroes, Only You, that was only a partial attempt, wasn't it?
Correct.
Every Time I Look at You, Sure Know Something, Rock Bottom, Come On and Love Me, Mr. Speed, obviously.
And Gene threw his bass out. He was having trouble with his bass. And at one point, he just said, screw it. He took the bass and threw it into the crowd, which, I mean, it's a cool thing for him to do, but at the same time, that could have caused a lot of injuries.
Paul was pissed. He looked at him like, "What are you doing? You guys, do you want to get sued?"
That's the profit from the cruise right there in the lawsuit, Gene.
Gene's like, "You're going to get a bill, when you get home for the $2,000 bass I just handed you." Whoever caught it.
But I mean, all of the KISS Cruise Sail Away acoustic sets have been pretty good. I mean, I don't know about Going Blind and Take Me and KISS Cruise or All the Way acoustically, but that's a good broad selection they seem to have presented everyone.
They're getting away from that, though. No, they're not going to do that this year.
Yeah, which, I don't know how that's going to work in conjunction with the Alive deal, but, I'm sure they've got something figured out on how it will work. What was the high point song for either of you on the Sail Away?
Go ahead,
Lonnie. I'm thinking.
All right. Well, I'll say Mr. Speed because I love that song. It's just such a great riff. Mr. Speed, and probably Every Time I Look at You. I love. I've said in the last episode I just love Revenge. It's my favorite KISS album. And I was there. I got engaged. They played Every Time I Look at You. It's pretty cool.
I would say Going Blind, Only You, any of those attempts at songs they'd never done before. I love hearing that stuff. They stick pretty close to the Unplugged, songs, the set list. They throw a couple things in here or there, but I will say, you know what? Creatures of the Night acoustically on Kiss Cruise 3 was funny because when it got to the part before the solo, of course, I don't know what they used to make that before it goes into the solo, but Paul did that in the microphone. If you look back at the video, Paul's smiling, he's like, before it goes into the drum solo part. So it's those songs that you wouldn't normally think of as acoustic songs that they play acoustically that I enjoy, because it's such a weird alternate version of it.
Yeah, I'll say too, Sure Know Something was amazing too. They haven't played that since, I was looking at the set lists. They haven't played Sure Know Something Unplugged since KISS Cruise, since the second KISS Cruise. Sure Know Something's an amazing tune. Just the thought of hearing that, I mean, before these cruises started, I never thought I'd hear them play Sure Know Something ever.
I mean, what if they played that electric this year? Have they ever done that?
They've never played that electric.
Coming Home Electric, they played that. Any of those songs from Unplugged, imagine if they played them electric.
Yeah, but no one's heard them do Coming Home Electric, have they?
I think they did it on the first one.
I think they did it on one of them.
Did they?
I think so.
Yeah, they did.
The first cruise both nights.
Yep. I should know better, shouldn't I?
Well, it was fun. I was away on a 2-year mission, so I couldn't be in touch with the real world and stuff a little bit. But I remember coming home from my mission and catching up on the Kiss world and going to YouTube, and there's like the great multi-cam edit of the acoustic show.
Yeah.
And just had an Apple TV where I was at, and a huge big screen with the great surround sound. And I remember just coming home, one day and just flipping on the TV and putting it on my phone and having to play. And it was amazing. I'm quite surprised they've not done a KISS Cruise DVD. I really hope they do a KISS Cruise DVD. And it could be a best of the KISS Cruises and put some of these shows. But that KISS Cruise, that's the second sail away show. I tell you what, if they were to do that for the electric show, that set list, I'd be happy. I would be so content with that set list for an electric show.
And they live streamed all of these shows, don't they, to other parts of the boat? Isn't there a viewing? Do they stream it to the cabins, or do they just stream it to one area?
I think it's streamed to the cabins and to this main atrium area. If you don't have tickets for the electric show, it's not your night to go to the electric show. There's this huge jumbo projection TV that you can go and watch it at. So they're all professionally filmed. So I think that in the future it's possible that
I don't know
to do
though,
a Kissology.
because it's only one camera. There's no multi-cameras when they're showing in the room, and it's sad to say, but the fans have put together, from all the footage they've culled from all over the world, all the people that filmed it themselves, there's bootlegs out there on Blu-ray, no less, that look as good as anything that KISS could officially release. Because just think about how many cameras are going in that theater. There's probably 500 different versions of that show floating around, and you take the best bits of each of them. I have one from KISS Cruise 2 that I got, and it's as good as anything they could put out officially. And as far as I know, they're not filming those officially, unless they go to the fans and say, can we release this? Can we use your footage? We'll give you a free meet and greet or something. But I'd love to see a Kissology 4 that has all that KISS Cruise stuff on it.
Yeah, they recorded that show, one of the last shows in Vegas. I don't know what their intentions are to release that in any kind of capacity, but, if you combine that on a Kissology 4 with some cruise material, even if you just did a compilation of just the rare tracks on some of the KISS Cruises, that'd be really badass.
And even through rehearsal, there's actually the guy we became buds on the FAQ board. He now works for KISS. I won't go out his info and stuff, but we actually got to meet up at the show when I went in DC. And I remember messaging him after the Oath was played for the first time. I was like, "Oh man, how was it?" We're were you excited? And he goes, "Well, I was at rehearsals and stuff with the band when he did it." And thinking lucky duck. And then that had been so hard to keep your mouth shut, because I would have been But
well, what's the holdup? In this day and age of Blu-ray and all this stuff, KISS should be coming out with a disc every year of something, of some kind of material. it would sell. Is it just because Tommy's the one that normally edits that stuff and he's on tour?
Well, I'm sure they can replace Tommy.
Yeah, you can find someone to edit.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at some of the guys who put together these unofficial Blu-rays, they are doing some pretty hot work. I've got a bunch of those. I haven't even had a chance to watch them. But look at KISS in this day and age. Have they even gone back and put Kissologies out on Blu-ray yet? No. And,
well, there's no reason for that though, because that's not HD footage. You know, that's half that stuff's off of VHS tape. So even if
it's not HD, footage, but it's still the format change. You know,
True.
And you can still put in bone. I mean, look at the Lord of the Rings. Here we go. Another FAQ.
It's a way to make more money.
Yeah.
It's all about...
You know, you can do a couple of bonus things on each of those original ones in keeping with the original nature. The era that they were covering, and get it back out there. You know, so it's like I don't know what their problem is. They do seem to film a lot of stuff.
They take their time though. The only KISS release I can remember coming out in a respectable time was the Symphony. The Symphony DVD was out less than 6 months or so after.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like,
and it shows.
KISS seems to take.
I'm sorry. If there's one video I never. Those videos.
They filmed those last nights at Cobo Hall for the Alive 35. They said, "Oh yeah, this is coming out." Well, it's 6 years later. That's not even out.
Well, I got filmed by when I went to see my very first KISS show, 2009. I dressed up. I dressed up at both shows in Texas, and you have a live. So you're walking through to DC, Washington DC, dressed as KISS, and having people in traffic stop and take pictures of you walking across the street. But I remember there was a guy from the KISS from like the crew coming over to me, and he interviewed me like on camera, asking me how long I've been a fan, who's my favorite member, my favorite song. You know, had the full pass and everything, a big camera, professional, the big mic with the stick on it, and so they've done stuff. I just hope they release it at some point, because they're doing things, they're just not putting it out there.
The market's getting smaller.
It is all dying.
Yeah.
And it's on YouTube. It's been on, the stuff that they're planning on releasing has been on YouTube for 3 years already.
Yeah, it's not going to be new when they release it.
Mm-hmm. Well, if we're talking about the cruises, though, I mean, we've talked about the shows, but there's a lot of other things that go on the boat. They have KISS games and trivia contests and name that guitar solo. And, Gene does the pig throwing contest, which has become a tradition now.
Lonnie, did you do the belly flop contest?
I did not do the belly flop contest. I took this picture of a guy named Andy from Massachusetts doing the belly flop, and it was like the run. They had like a contest after KISS Cruise 2. They had a contest like submit your best picture from the cruise, and the winner's going to get to go on KISS Cruise 3 for free. So I submitted this picture, and I'll share it on the board. But it's like this guy Andy from Massachusetts, and he's like diving into the pool, and like it says "Kiss this" on the back of his trunks. And I was the freaking runner-up in the contest. It's like, are you kidding me? But, no, I have not done the belly flop contest myself.
You know what drove me nuts, though, is they have the costume competitions every year, because it takes place on Halloween. Mm-hmm. And it's cool, but the thing is, the last couple of years I've been there, they have a Gene winner, they have a Paul winner, they section off everybody as far as who they're dressing up as. And there are some fans that have these fantastic homemade from-scratch outfits that look amazing. But the people that always end up winning are the ones that have the costumes that they bought, the official KISS costumes. And it's like, yeah, they look more like them because they bought the official Halloween costume, but, you're not going to give credit to the person that made theirs from scratch. And I think the difference is the people that are hosting them outside of Tommy, who may know, don't know that's a homemade one versus one they bought for $400 somewhere.
Right. They just see they're just going off the looks and not going.
There was this girl who dressed up as Jean, and it looked fantastic. Fantastic job she did, and everything was homemade and put together. And I'm like, she should have won that, because you can tell she put hours and hours into that versus somebody who just went out and bought the costume and slapped it on. So that part's a little frustrating to me, but I have to remember that the person judging may not know the difference between the two.
Yeah, that usually happens in all beauty contests. The ones who went out and bought their costumes win.
That's a nice way to put it.
Yeah. So what on the cruises was the best secondary activity?
Go ahead, Lonnie.
Let's see. It was really cool on Halloween night. For a second, if you want to talk about this Halloween night, I dressed up as Gene, and I'm walking around, and there's about 50 other Gene Simmonses walking around, 50 Paul Stanleys, I'll say the Spaceman, and the Catman walking around. And it was surreal to be in that setting on Halloween. I'm dressed up as Gene Simmons, and there's just members of I'll say my people dressed up like Kiss.
My people.
I think all the Genes should have gone into the pool, and then you could have all been in the Gene pool. Okay, that's boom.
There's a lot going on that boat, and every year it's a little bit different. The Kiss, they had a Kiss lounge set up, and they played nothing but Kissology from start to finish. And you could bowl, and and then they had the karaoke thing, which is interesting because it seems like the people that get trashed are always the ones dressed as a spaceman. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. There's like 2 or 3 aces.
They get in the character really good.
That are always escorted out or not allowed back in. And that's funny. I would say my favorite is the Gene pick throwing competition, just because if you are lucky enough to get up right to the front to where that's going on, after the competition is over, Gene is always very, very generous as far as autographs go. And he normally signs, here, I'll grab what I got signed right here. I was right up front.
Oh, very nice.
Nice.
I brought something small because I didn't have to hold it all day. And I said, you know what, if he signs something, I'll just bring this with me. And but people had posters, albums, 45s, and he signed 2 or 3 things for each person up in the front, and he didn't leave until everybody that was right up front there got an autograph from him.
He gets a bad rep sometimes, but he's very fan attentive. If he thinks that you're a vulture and you got a stack of stuff and you got eBay tattooed on your forehead, then that's a whole different situation. But if he thinks feels he's in a legit situation, he'll make sure everyone is serviced. That doesn't sound right. He'll take care of everyone's autographing needs.
Maybe he could use a meal.
That's how it was when I met Bruce. I met him at an expo, and it was 2 autographs, but I was like, "Can you put my name on this and put my dad's name on it?" And then he was like, "Oh yeah, what other stuff do you have signed and stuff?" So I mean, if you go on these things, if you want to get some more things, get it personalized, because they'll bend the rules then and do something else for you too, because they see that it's for you, not for like eBay.
So I gotta ask you guys. I mean, are there guys running around the boat with bags full of stuff to get signed?
Yes.
Yeah, that was what bugged me at the meet and greets in 2003 and 2004. Some of the people would show up with like 90 items. I had one thing.
There were guys literally chasing them around the boat. Any chance, like they did the Q&A. There's people like stalking them out of which set of elevators they're going to go to because I'm gonna get something.
So what one thing that they haven't done as an entertainment type thing would you like to see them do on Cruise 5? I mean, let's say you're going. Something they haven't done yet. What do you think would go down well?
Can I go real quick? You mentioned it. I love to see them, because I know kids, they like bowling. I love to see them do like a bowling contest with a few people. Like, put you and Gene up and see who get a strike or whatnot. See who does better just for one, set. I think that'd be kind of cool, because they always hear about them bowling, so that's just my take.
Yeah, I guess they're going to Jamaica on this one. Maybe they can do a dominoes competition.
I don't think this would ever happen, but they do the Kiss karaoke. What if Gene and Paul, Tommy or Eric got up there and did Kiss karaoke with selected members that were already picked out? How cool would that be to be able to sing with the band? It's cheap and it's,
You shout it out loud back and forth with Paul Stanley on the sharing vocals.
Well, that's the cool thing too, though. When the first band came on to do the Kiss tribute show on the Sail Away, it was a little different last year as far as what they were doing. They had a bunch of different bands on board, and each band got to play 2 or 3 Kiss songs as the boat was taking off. So Kiss comes out to do their wave, hello, welcome to the cruise, and we're getting ready to head out and have fun. And as they walk off stage, the first band walks on and starts playing I Stole Your Love. Well, the lead singer starts singing it. He sings the first verse and the chorus. And then the second verse comes in. Paul runs back out on stage, grabs the mic, and sings the second verse along with that band. And it's just really one of those spontaneous moments that, you can't script. That was really, really cool.
That's a really cool thing. I mean,
Paul had his sail away hat and his all night hat on with his sailing jacket on. It was just you can only imagine what it must have been like for that band to have that happen to him.
No doubt. Yeah, I'd like to see him do, going back to what they're already doing on KISS Kruises 5. But if you're gonna play electric on that Sail Away show, do a true 80s set list. Growing up in the 80s, I would love to see KISS, since they're going to play unmasked, do a true 80s set list. Do stuff off Crazy Nights, stuff off Asylum, stuff off of Animalize. I mean, since the reunion tour, they've only done one song ever off of Animalize, Heaven's on Fire. They've only done one song ever off Asylum, Tears Are Falling. That'd be that, and one song off Crazy Nights. They've only done one song off of Hot in the Shade. Do a true 80s set list. Throw in those gems that you haven't heard in 20 years.
Any way you slice it.
Yeah, so
that would be good.
This is 2015. This is the 30th anniversary of Asylum. So
there you go.
So there you go. It's the 20th anniversary tomorrow of the first acoustic shows in Australia, and I don't know what time it is in Australia right now. It may even be tomorrow there already. So there's a whole bunch of anniversaries coming up. Oh, every year's an anniversary or something. Asylum would be great, but just somehow I don't see that happening other than Tears Are Falling.
Now, would they come out in the period-appropriate outfits?
I want to see Paul. I want Paul in that outfit from Who Wants to Be Lonely.
Oh, one of my all-time favorite songs, that.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be hot.
That would
they
be
came
great.
out dressed in hot pink and fluorescent colors. So.
And what's it with the hand thing? I mean... People, it's like,
there you go.
The kid.
He did that in Vegas. My wife goes, "What the hell is he doing?"
That's the KISS throwdown sign.
Oh boy.
Well, real quick, I'm going to toss an idea I think would be cool. Is even if they don't want to learn the songs, how cool would it be if they had one of those great KISS tribute bands that knows these real songs and gives them a set and say, here are the 20 songs we're going to do. They're obscure. Here's an iPad. Here are the lyrics. You guys sing the songs, and we'll be your backing band.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I want to see them do it. They're KISS. I want to see them do it.
So what other musical acts were on these boats? Because it's not just KISS, is it, performing? There are other bands.
Cheap Trick played the night before we sailed away for the people that had the special extra night added to it. And that was really cool. I'd never seen them live before, so that was an added bonus.
Skid Row played on the one I went on, which was really cool. Reminded me of the farewell tour.
Does Doc McGee manage Ted Nugent, or did he used to?
I don't know if he's ever managed Ted.
I don't think so.
Because Ted opened for him on the farewell tour, right?
Yeah.
True. Yeah.
I was always wondering if Ted Nugent could get on one of those shows. I mean, that would be definitely an appropriate opening act for a KISS cruise.
I don't know. Could a ship hold or contain Ted and Gene Simmons on the same boat? I don't know. That's pushing it.
If you have to go down, though, if the boat's got to go down, what a ship to go on.
There might just be a little bit. There might be just too much opinion on that boat. Maybe
Donald. A lot of ego on one boat.
Yeah, throw Donald Trump in as well. Then, for that matter. I mean, who do you think? Pick a band who you think would make a great partner. To go on KISS Kruises 5. They haven't announced anything yet, so... Alex. Y&T.
I'd say Cinderella would be awesome. You could get an 80s band in there, or it wouldn't happen, but Alice Cooper would just be badass, but that'll never happen.
He has his own cruise, though. They were going to do an Alice Cooper cruise, and I guess it got canceled, I read, or something.
I think he does a cruise with a few other bands, like one of those... like Monsters of Rock cruises. I think he does something like that.
Do you think we will see a KISS Alice Cooper tour at some point?
No.
No.
You don't think so? I feel like that's that card that they're
I think that's the
on.
next one. I think, they've done the Motley Crue, they've done Def Leppard, they've done Aerosmith, they've done Poison. If they're going to tour the U.S. in 2016, who's going to go with them? Alice would be cool.
I mean, I saw Alice. Actually, I saw Alice right before I went on the KISS cruise in 2013, and he put on a fantastic show.
I've seen Alice a bunch of times. He's awesome live.
And as far as that goes, Alice would be cool on the boat, but I think he's too big to ever consider that. I would still stick with Ted Nugent.
Yeah, he would. You wouldn't be able to do justice to Alice's show. Competing for the time that's available in the venue on the ship. So I don't think that would work, but that might make a good touring package on the road.
And imagine Alice coming out and singing with KISS, because you know it would happen at some point. How cool would that be? KISS doing a Cooper song and Alice doing a KISS song.
That'd be awesome. I mean, he's still on the road with Motley this year. I mean, he's taken a substantial opening act. I mean, and ran with it. So
poor Eric Singer though. He'd be a tired guy after those 2 shows, right?
No, he can't do that.
Quick, slap this makeup on and head back out. What about Aerosmith? Would Aerosmith be, it's been over 10 years, and Aerosmith has kind of fallen off the map ever since the American Idol thing died down. I'd love to see Aerosmith live. I've never gotten a chance to see him. Every time an Aerosmith tour is planned or promised, it falls through. I'd love to see that, personally.
Bon Jovi would be pretty cool to see on the KISS cruise.
Yeah, unfortunately, Bon Jovi's way too big, aren't they?
KISS would open for Bon Jovi.
McCartney KISS. No headlining, of course.
I hate to say it because most people know of my absolute disdain for this band, but I think Poison makes a good travel partner for KISS on a boat.
I don't know, though. Poison's almost, to me, like the sons of KISS. Like, they're the thing that came out. I consider KISS in the league with, Elton John and The Who and all these Ted Nugent, all these great 70s entities. And that's the one thing pairing them up with Motley Crue. I mean, I almost look at Motley Crue as like what came after KISS. So I almost feel like they're not on the same level as KISS is, if that makes sense to me.
No,
I could see him touring again with Poison like they did in 2004. I could see that happening. Just like Def Leppard brought in people in this last year, I could see Poison playing that role.
Yeah, they didn't do too well in 2004 with Poison, did they, though?
That was a little oversaturation, though. They toured, and then they toured right after that again. They kind of oversaturated the market, I think, between 2003 and 2004 was part of that problem.
But then how long was it, 2005, until Sonic Boom was pretty much the next time they came to the States, wasn't it?
Right. Next proper
outside of a one-off show here or there.
Yeah, right. It was very intermittent in those periods. I mean, a few state fairs. I saw them in a casino in 2006. So who knows? There's certainly, I think, a lot of options in cruising still to be explored by the band, and they seem to be getting a good response, a lot of return business, and overall, I haven't heard too many people complain. I mean, these are KISS fans as well. Everyone seems to have pretty positive experiences on this cruise. Maybe it's because once you're on the boat and you're out in that nice sea air, you leave your baggage and just enjoy it for what it is. But there's not a lot of negativity, except for the mutiny last year over the set list, which, maybe the attendees are getting a bit complacent or a bit demanding, and the band's getting a little bit complacent. So maybe KISS Cruise 5 is the year that KISS reboots their cruising, and we'll have to wait and see what they announce and what they do. But I think it's pretty positive.
I would say if you get a chance to go on one, to definitely do it. There are cheaper options. You have to be on right away when they go on sale. But if you want to feel like cramming 3 or 4 friends into one of those small dinky rooms, you can get around paying, I would say, at least $1,000 a person. But of course, plane tickets and all that's involved. But these people that say, we spent $3,000 or $4,000 a person, I've never spent that much on one.
No, I didn't spend that much to go on. I mean,
now if you want the huge, rooms and everything, that's one thing. But I'm there for the KISS stuff. I don't really care what room I'm in. If I want to go outside, if I want to look outside, I can just walk up to the top.
I'm not there to spend a lot of time in my room. I'm not going there just so I can spend a lot of time that little dinky room, or any kind of room for that matter. I'm there to experience it, not to sit around all day.
So,
I'm gonna ask a silly question for you two on the cruise. How was it with the food and stuff? Was it, did you get your money's worth too with that aspect?
definitely.
Yeah, I mean, food. There's food's available 24/7. We didn't drink at all on there, and that saved us a lot of money too, because booze was expensive on there. And it's like, you know what? I don't need to drink to have a good time, and I'm not that much of an alcoholic that I'm not going to be able to not enjoy myself for a couple of days without booze. But there were some people on there that I can't imagine what their tab was, though, by the time we left. Because if you're drinking at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, you're not switching back to soda come 8 o'clock at night.
You know, you pay all this money to get on this thing, and then I guarantee you there's people that don't remember half of it.
That's what I was just going to say. I want to remember. When I go to concerts, I typically don't drink maybe one, maybe two max, because I want to remember. I'm paying good money to be there. I want to remember the experience, and that's how I felt about the cruise. I'm paying this much money to be here. I'm not going to have my memory be tainted about the whole thing.
Yeah, I remember seeing Ace Frehley in 2008, and the opening band was a band called the Cheaters, and this one guy who had an Ace Frehley shirt on passed out before Ace ever got on stage. And
Another Ace.
I think they had to take him out.
He was dressed as Ace on the cruise.
You know, there was an Ace when I saw Ace Frehley at House of Blues in Orlando in 2008. There was we were front row just because we got there early, and there was a guy about 3 or 4 people back, complete destroyer Ace costume, and as the night went on, he got more brazen, and he was trying to push his way to the front, little by little by little. And the people behind me were about ready. They're like, if he moves another inch this way, Ace is getting his ass kicked. And they were serious. They were serious. I mean, imagine from Ace's perspective, seeing himself in the crowd getting his, ass kicked by the fans.
Thinking of that, have you seen anyone dressed up as Eric Carr or Vinnie Vincent on these?
I saw an Eric Carr, a couple Eric Cars actually.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see
I
any
want to
Vinnies.
say I maybe saw one person that had the makeup on, but they didn't have a costume on, as far as I can remember.
No, I didn't see.
But the
Vinnies.
Bandit.
The Bandit, yeah. Right, yeah.
The Hawk.
Going back to unrealistic expectations for a cruise, I'd love if they came out and they did a Wicked Lester set. Gene and Paul with just acoustic guitars, playing those Beatles songs that they played, when they were just a struggling band. I feel like they would enjoy that too, because it'd be something different for them.
Well,
they pull out some of those Wicked Lester tracks.
Here you are on a cruise. Why have they not done the conga line to Life in the Woods? Come on, lead the people on the conga line, Paul. Life in the Woods. It can't be that hard to learn that song again. That'd be kind of fun. That would be. I'm never going to go on one of these because it just doesn't fit with my schedule. I coach at the time of the cruises, so I can't get out of it. But if I was to go, I would love to hear some Wicked Lester acoustic. I'd like to see Paul and Gene. You've seen them in the videos talking about them busking on New York street corners back in the early 70s. Just those two guys with an acoustic guitar harmonizing. Heck, bring in Eric. Maybe like the acoustic meet and greets. Put together some of the Wicked Lester songs that we haven't heard. Some of the stuff in those arrangements. Keep Me Waiting.
She wants to shout it out loud. It'd be awesome.
Yeah, we want to. Well, that's Holly's, but
Still.
Simple Type, whatever. Do some of that stuff. Just have it kind of kitschy. You can get away with it on a cruise. You can be really geeky, kitschy, and come on, this is KISS. This isn't about self-respect. If it's worth overdoing, do it. So
and even just play a clip. I love that clip when he did Life in the Woods at that meet and greet, where he played a little bit of it, and then they kind of explained the song a little bit and stuff. Have a little fun, even just do a verse and a chorus of, Molly, and then go, this is how the song came to be, guys, and we sucked at doing it, but this is it, Have fun
Stanley the Parrot.
Oh God! Yeah,
and then launch into Strutter from there.
And then my uncle lives around.
My uncle's a rat.
Maybe that's a good alternative, really, to this unmasked electric sail away show that doesn't seem to have a whole lot, and I don't seem to be able to get my head around what it actually means that makes it special when you're going to be doing 2 electric performances during the tour. Maybe they should be thinking more along the lines of storytellers.
That'd be awesome.
Here is a special set of, different songs, and talk about the songs.
They did that Unplugged show in California right before I think LA KISS started, and it was supposed to be like unplugged and stories about the songs. And I don't know how much stories they really told, but that would be something really cool that they could explain how certain songs came about. Or I remember the first time we played this, or I remember when Paul brought this into the studio, and this is how the song evolved from what he brought in originally.
Yeah, get Ken Sharp to help them write up a little thing, and then they can bullet point it on their teleprompters, if necessary, because it's got to be tough to kind of perform and talk and think about all that stuff at the same time. But it would be a little bit more engaging.
A little Life in the Woods story on KISS Kruise 2. I was right up in front of Gene. I had my hand on his boot, taking pics off of his bass, as cool as it can be. And I thought, if I'm going to be in the front, I should write a song down and see what happens. So this was the point in time when they had done a little bit of Life in the Woods on that acoustic meet and greet thing, but the actual recording of it had never leaked out yet. So all we knew about was that little snippet that they had played. And so I wrote down Life in the Woods on this sheet of paper, and I put it on the stage halfway through the set. And they ended the song, and Gene walked over, looked down at my piece of paper, and he looked at his bass, and he started trying to find his fingering on the bass. And I was like, oh my God, this is gonna happen. This is gonna happen. And just as I felt like he was gonna start doing something, Paul launched into whatever the next song was gonna be. So Gene just gave up on it. But I will say, and I still have it in my little plastic Ziploc bag with all my pics and stuff I got from that night. By the end of that night, that piece of paper was drenched in sweat or saliva or a mixture of all of them. I don't know. But I folded it up and I threw it in the Ziploc bag, and it's still there. So
you got to upload it to the message board.
I will. With the roadies, I've heard complain that they don't want to be on Gene's side because he sweats like an animal and spits and all this stuff. But I thought it was cool. I wish that he had spit blood, and I'm surprised he's never done that, maybe just because of the cleanup aspect of it, but if he had spit blood on KISS Kruise 2, I would have had a shirt just drenched in stage blood.
Maybe he'll spit blood at the unmasked electric sail away, and it'll be the first
There
time.
you go.
It'd be a recreation of the first Lick It Up show.
We don't know that happened.
So let's talk negative points quickly before we wrap. You guys have been on a few of these. Are there any downsides from your experiences?
The only I don't know, to revisit, the only downside to me was I wish they would have played more deeper cuts on the one that I went on. For the most part, I think people are pretty well behaved on the cruises. On the cruise that I went on, there wasn't a lot of animosity or any kind of negative vibes going on. I really enjoyed it. My wife didn't sleep at all, so she wouldn't agree with my sentiment.
You get no sleep. That's a downside.
She didn't sleep at all. We got back to Miami and she slept for like 20 hours or something when we docked. But yeah, there's no time to sleep because it's like a party for 3 or 4 days, just nonstop. But I really have nothing really negative to say about the experience in general. What about you, Nigel?
The only downside that I've noticed is now when it comes to lining up for the first row of the KISS Kruise electric shows, people are now lining up at 10 a.m. when they don't even open the doors till like 6, 7 p.m. to let people in. And I've heard a lot of the first year that on KISS Kruise 2 that I was on it, we were the first ones in line, and we got there about 2 hours before they opened the doors. And that was on a new boat. They had done the first one on a different cruise line. So people weren't really sure what was going on or how early you're supposed to line up. So we got lucky, and we only had to wait 2 hours. But now they're lining up at 10 a.m., and it's like if you want to get a good spot, you have to pretty much waste an entire day
Well, if you want to spend your
just
vacation,
sit in line
wait in
and
line
not
for
move.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't make
there
any.
were a lot of
Why
arguments and a
you
lot
do
of
that?
fights because people weren't sure where the line started. The first couple of years, so they'd start in a line that they thought was the front of the line, and then people would come like an hour or two later and say, "No, the line's over here. You have to get behind everyone else now." And there was a lot of arguments with the crew. I feel like everybody kind of knows now what's going on, but there was all this craziness as to what was going on, and people that were waiting in lines that they thought were right but turned out to be wrong. And that's where a lot of the negative aspects came in for me. But it wasn't nothing that the band did. It was just fans thinking that they had to be first. Everybody had to be first.
Right. So let's wrap this up. For everyone out there, head on over to the KissCruise.com. Sixman is partnered with KISS for these cruises, and if I read their website correctly, they are, trying to finalize bookings for this, and it looks like there are still cabins available or options for that. Again, they're selling it with the Electric Unmasked Sail Away show on the pool deck, one autographed commemorative item signed by each band member, a photo with you, your cabin mates, and KISS masked or unmasked, your choice this year. And of course, they'll be performing the complete Alive album in its entirety during their indoor ticketed show, dressed as they were in 1975. And there's an asterisk after that, so I don't know what that means. And the final bullet point is a yearbook celebrating 5 years of the KISS Cruise. Now, that sounds really cool to me, so I'm going to have to find someone who's going on the cruise to buy me a copy of that, because I've not been there. So it looks, like it's going to be exciting again. And everything I've seen on the boards and heard from you guys today is that it's been a positive experience. So, congrats to KISS. Here's something that sounds like it's a really positive thing. So, final words, guys, and let's start with Alex.
If you guys are going to do the cruise, go on it. The only reason why I can't go is just because I'm choosing my education over the cruise and stuff. But if I had the income to do it, I definitely would do a cruise. So I'd say go for it. I haven't been, but everything I hear about and people going, they love it. Except for Lonnie hearing the monster song.
See, I'd like to go back. I enjoyed going. Obviously, it was fantastic. I'd like to go again. My wife, I don't know if I can talk her into going again. She didn't get much sleep, and that's not a good combination. And I'd like to go again. It was fantastic. And if you have the means to do it, I think it's something that a diehard KISS fan should experience at least once.
Nigel, you get the final words.
When I was 12, 13 years old and I first got into KISS, there was never a time where I ever imagined I would be on a boat for 3 days, 4 days, whatever it is, with KISS, seeing multiple shows, meeting all these fans. It's just something that I knew at some point I would be front row at a show somewhere somehow, and I knew at some point I'd meet the band. But I never thought it would be something as cool as that, where it was just KISS Disney World is what it is for 3 or 4 days. Mm-hmm. And if you have the funds and you want to cram 3 or 4 people into one small cabin and try to get it as cheap as possible, and you can do that, go for it. Because even if you just go to one, you won't regret it, and you'll have a bunch of stories to tell later on.
And you are going to meet fans from all over the world. So, great social event. I mean, it's almost like a support group, isn't it? So, I guess we'll end it on there. Go. If you're on the fence, give it a shot. You got nothing to lose. All right, Alex, Lonnie, and Nigel, thank you for your time today. And, hope to see each of you again on future episodes of the FAQ podcast. Everyone out there, thank you for listening. Hope we didn't do any damage to your brain. So take care, everyone. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye, guys.